Do you ever feel like your legs have just turned to noodles after a grueling hike? You've conquered a tough trail today, but tomorrow demands the same energy. How do you bounce back? The real challenge is not the hike itself, but how you recover. Today, I'm going to reveal 5 simple yet powerful strategies that will have you waking up refreshed and trail ready in no time. Hi, I'm Mauser, and after 30 years of hiking across Tasmania's wilderness and beyond, I have learned that mastering rest is just as crucial as the hike itself. Rest isn't just about sleeping, it's your secret weapon to tackle tomorrow's challenges with vigor. So in this video, you'll unlock rest as your secret weapon, ensuring that you stay fresh and energized, whether it's your first hike or your 50th. So if you're ready to just transform your whole hiking experience, let's dive straight in. Prioritize quality sleep. Sleep is the ultimate recovery tool. It's like plugging your body into a power bank overnight. Without it, you are just running on empty. Let's make this even clearer. Here is your energy. I've got recovery on there, but just imagine it's your energy levels at the end of a long day. Pretty empty. Each night, your sleep fills this glass. A solid, restful sleep, that's a good sleep. A full tank of energy right there. But if you toss and turn all night or wake up cold, you might wake up feeling like this, half full and half as ready for the day. The right gear makes all the difference. Good sleep on the trail starts with the right gear. Think of it like building your dream bed, only it's portable. The sleeping pad. Your sleeping pad isn't just about comfort, it's your insulation as well. The ground beneath you is like a giant heat thief, constantly pulling warmth away. A well-insulated pad keeps that heat where it belongs, with you. Now, when I started out hiking for many years, I just used one of those blue foam pads. You know the ones I mean, those ones that just roll out, just a thin piece of foam, bit like this, that thick, even thinner. And these, while they offer some insulation, they offer basically no warmth at all, no comfort, and it was probably my youth and vigor back then that kept me energized. These days, if I get a bad sleep while I'm out on the trail, I really feel it. Think of it as the difference between sleeping on a cloud, say, or on just a plank of wood. Something like this, well, there's no comparison with a foam pad to something like this. I mean, the comfort level is just unmatched. And when it comes to sleeping pads, the R value, the sleeping pad's R value, is your sleeping pad's superpower. It measures how well it keeps you insulated from the cold ground and is generally indicated on the product packaging or on the website, or even the guys in the store could tell you what the R value is. For cold weather here in Australia, I tend to look for an R value of 3 or 4 or higher for year-round hiking, but the higher the better. I'm normally going for around a 4.5 mattress these days, I find. Anything less, and it's like sleeping on, a cold, icy bed. If you just hike in the summer or sleep in huts, then you can probably get away with something around the 3 rating, maybe even a 2, but I'd probably go for something around the 3 to 4 still. Think of it like this. A higher R value is the difference between being snug under a doona or shivering through the night. And if you're unsure, always go for a higher R value. You'll thank yourself when the temperature drops. And I know that these days, when I am trying different pads out, I definitely notice the difference in R values. That one there I just showed you, that's I think around a 4.3. I just find that sleep's a bit cold when things get cold in the shoulder season. So that's why I'm going for a 4.5 to 4.7 sort of rating these days. The quilt or sleeping bag. The quilt or sleeping bag is your cocoon. The right quilt or bag isn't just cozy, it's life-saving. Now these different bags and quilts are rated for specific temperatures, so choose one designed for the conditions you'll face. Your sleeping insulation is your ultimate cocoon, but it's only as good as the temperature rating. These bags and quilts come with a comfort rating. A quilt or bag with a -7 degree comfort rating is designed to keep you warm and snug even on those frosty nights. On the flip side, a sleeping bag or quilt with a rating of, say, 10 degrees Celsius, 10 degrees above freezing here in Australia, might feel fine on a balmy evening, but in cold weather, it's about as useful as bringing a beach towel to a snowstorm. Always match your sleeping bag to the conditions you'll face, or better yet, I always tend to go for a slightly warmer rating than the expected temperatures, so I've just got that bit of added warmth. Camp setup, the first step to a great sleep. Now, before we even talk about sleeping, let's talk about where you're sleeping. The best recovery starts with a smart camp setup. So pick your spot wisely. Choose a flat, firm surface, free of rocks or roots. Use your hands or let's even lie down on the ground to test the ground before setting up your tent. Avoid pitching too close to water. Unless you enjoy the sound of frogs serenading you all night or waking up in a puddle of condensation, then it's best to sort of be a bit away from the water. Pre-sleep rituals. Calm your mind. Now, once your tent is set up and your gear is ready, it's time to prepare yourself for rest. Sleep isn't just physical, it is mental too. Stretch it out. After a long day of hiking, your muscles are tight and tired. Stretching before bed, well, it's a bit like hitting a refresh button. This isn't just for flexibility, it helps you wake up feeling less stiff and more energized. Well, I find it does anyway. It feels quite good. Breathe deep. Now, just prior to bunkering in for the night, I also like to take a few moments to just focus on my breathing. This is right when I'm snuggled up in my sleep system, about to nod off to sleep. So here is what I do. I inhale for 4 seconds, just counting, hold for 4 seconds, and then I exhale for 4 seconds. I repeat this a few times to calm the nervous system and to signal my body that it's time to sleep. I read about this somewhere. I think it's something they do similar in the military or something like that, but it seems to work anyway. All right, now we've set up a cozy, efficient sleep system and you've recharged your battery overnight with your very nice sleep and that full glass of water. Let's talk about the fuel you'll need to keep that energy flowing all day long, because even the best sleep can't help you if you run out of fuel halfway through your hike. Fuel your recovery. After a tough day on the trail, your body needs fuel to recover. Skip this and it's like ignoring your car's fuel gauge after a long road trip. It'll really catch up with you the next day. Now, this is by no means extensive nutritional advice. There are heaps of other videos out there that go into detail on all this sort of stuff, what you should be getting in the way of carbs and protein and fat and electrolytes, all that stuff. This is just a very rough overview. I'll try and find a link and leave it down below to a more extensive video that goes into this stuff a bit deeper by someone who really knows their stuff. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a pharmacist, but I'm not a nutritionist. So I'll find a link to a video to leave below if you really want to dive deep into this a bit further. What your body needs. Complex carbs. Restore your energy reserves with things like rice, pasta, or lentils. Protein. Repair and rebuild your muscles with things like any meat like jerky, nuts, or powdered milk, stuff like that that is high in protein. And what I tend to do is I aim to eat some protein within about 30 minutes of stopping for the day. If I've just stopped, I'll try and get some jerky or something like that into me, or some nuts into me straight away. Fats. Fats are your endurance fuel, especially for hikers. Up to 70% of the energy you burn on the trail comes from fat. That's why calorie-dense, high-fat foods are essential for long-distance treks. Electrolytes. You also want to balance your hydration and keep your body running smoothly. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium are essential for replacing what's lost when you sweat. Now imagine each of these is your fat, your electrolyte, your protein, and your carb. On their own, each of these is important. But when you combine all these together, they fuel your recovery tank. Beautiful. If you skimp on one of these, then your recovery is not really complete. So where do you start? Well, recovery begins with hydration. But first, let's just get rid of this stuff. So hydrate first with fluids and electrolytes. Hydration is key to staying healthy and strong on the trail, but it's a delicate balance. Too little water can lead to dehydration, which can impair your muscles, your heart, and even your brain. But too much water without electrolytes can cause overhydration, diluting sodium levels and leading to fatigue, or even worse, hyponatremia. Here is a very simple way to check your hydration. Just check your urine colour. If it's light yellow, that's where you want to be at. If it's bright clear, then you need to ease off on the liquids a bit. If it's really dark, then you probably need to drink a bit more. Sip regularly rather than chugging your water all at once, and balance it with electrolytes. Add supplements like electrolyte powders or tablets to replace the sodium, potassium, and the other minerals that you can lose in sweat. When I finish a hike, I always start by rehydrating and replacing electrolytes because I sweat quite a bit. Usually I mix up an electrolyte drink with water, focusing on a blend with sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium to replenish what I've lost. And there's heaps of different brands out there. I prefer Element myself, but do your own research and check all the different ones out. If I'm not in the mood for a standard electrolyte drink, I'll sometimes opt for a powdered sort of smoothie mix that you can get these days. And this is a pretty versatile option that combines hydration with a few carbs and even some protein for extra recovery benefits. So they're a good option as well. Starting your hike well hydrated can also set you up for success. A salty pre-hike meal or drink can enhance your endurance and help delay fatigue. Follow up with a balanced meal. Now, once you're rehydrated, it's time for a proper meal. This is where you can fully replenish your glycogen stores, repair your muscles, and provide your body with sustained energy for the next day. Your meal should include things like healthy fats, things like olive oil. I always take a little bottle of olive oil to add to my meals. I find that is a good one. You could take an avocado for the first day or two if you wanted to put in a wrap or on a sandwich. Nuts, seeds, and cheeses are also a good source of these. So I sort of mix it up with a bit of each of them. Complex carbohydrates like rice or quinoa or pasta, they can be used to refuel your energy as well. And for protein, I'm taking things like lentils or beef jerky, or tuna is a good one to repair muscles. My go-to meals these days are generally either freeze-dried or dehydrated meals, and then just by adding boiling water, I can make up a meal pretty quickly and it packs in the carbs and the protein I need. If you prefer plant-based options, I do like the Radix meals that you can get here in Australia. They're made in New Zealand, I think, but they're not a bad option for vegetarians, and they make some high calorie dense sort of meals as well. When you're too tired to eat, sometimes exhaustion sets in and cooking a meal feels completely impossible. In these cases, I tend to prioritize a bit of hydration with a quick snack. Even something like a protein shake or a bit of trail mix can make a world of difference. I've been on many hikes where people that I've been hiking with have been so drained they just couldn't bring themselves to prepare food to eat. In these cases, I've made them up a quick meal or a snack, and the transformation was incredible. Even a bit of soup. It's just like flipping a switch on their energy levels. Within half an hour or so, they're back up and about and they're keen to make a meal. Now, with your tank topped up, how do you keep it from running dry throughout the day? Well, that's where micro breaks come in. Master micro breaks. Now, hiking isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Micro breaks are like pit stops in a race. Quick, efficient, and essential for staying on the track. For every kilometre you walk or mile, your energy drops. If you wait too long to take a break, you're left running on fumes. But if you take very short regular breaks, you'll maintain steady energy throughout the day. It's not just about resting your muscles, it is a chance to refuel, hydrate, and reset. Even a 5-minute pause to take a sip of water, eat a quick snack, or stretch out to get those tight calves sort of stretched out a bit, it can make a world of difference. And just remember that hiking is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and pacing yourself with breaks is key to enjoying the journey as much as the destination. Keeping your energy levels steady doesn't just rely on breaks, it also depends on smart food choices. And if you're curious about how to pack light while still refueling your body effectively, then check out this video up here where I share my tips to lighten your load without skimping on nutrition.